Hey guys, good evening. Welcome back to our channel. Hey beautiful people, good afternoon. How is everyone doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back. Thank you very much for stopping by. If you are just joining, this is Obodo TV, and here we usually talk about issues that affect Africans who live in the diaspora. And we talk a lot about marriage, relationships, and also we are a domestic violence support group. So, welcome everyone. Please give us a thumbs up. People are not liking. We stay here, we do 2 hours, we do 1.5 hours, 3 hours sometimes, doing a lot of talking. And to be honest, it's very, very unfair that a lot of people come here to gain knowledge, they come here to learn. But even to like that is free of charge is hard for people to do. I mean, sometimes I just sit down and I wonder why. You go to all these American channels and you see the way people give super chats. And the presenter does not even need to ask. They just give very freely. But in our own case, we go shout tire, like the video, share the video. Honestly, it's just it's not very encouraging. Let me just say it that way. It's not. People will stay here and be watching this channel for years. They'll be learning to subscribe. You just hit that the button and you're subscribed, and it's free. I wonder about it sometimes. That if you cannot give something that is free, then what does that say about you? Especially if you found the channel useful. You've learned one or two things over the years. And yet you say, I've been watching for years, but I didn't subscribe. You're a wicked person. Wicked. Honestly, I never get it. Maybe some people think that they are trying to you know butter me up by saying I've been watching for years, I didn't subscribe. Well, if you don't subscribe, what are you doing here? You don't need to watch. Honestly, it's so annoying. 7 years here, every day in, day out. I know the love is real for the real Obodo fam, but all of you that go to watch and you sneak in and sneak out, and you be sending me emails and asking me questions, you want help, but you cannot like, you cannot even subscribe. You know how hard that feels. Our people are such users. Some of our people, they just like to use and use and use someone without giving nothing in return. Relationship, it doesn't work like that. Honestly, yeah. YouTube subscription is free. Liking a video is free of charge. So why so hard? I don't know why it's so hard. Honestly, it's very tiring. Very, very tiring. When we start the show, I encourage people, please give us a thumbs up. This is what the algorithms use, to recommend the videos for people who are not familiar with the channel to know us and to watch. But still, people don't. And they say, oh, Auntie B, I love you. No, that's not love. Love is giving. That is just ordinary lip service. Hmm? Yes. I wish there was a way for me to check billionaires Junzi top babe. I wish there was a way for me to check. Yeah, but it's just yeah. It's just so some people will not even subscribe. They will be emailing me, please, can you? I want this, I want this. I don't do social media. What are you doing here if you don't do social media? I don't know what you're doing here. This is social media. End of the day, it's social media. But I thank all my faithful and supportive Obodo fam. You guys, we are a community here. And I don't take your love for granted. Our people sometimes, you just sit down and think about it. And the love, for the people who actually love you is overwhelming. And, you keep looking at that and you say, because of that, we'll keep pushing. But sometimes I tell you, it is tiring. Yeah, it is very, very tiring. Natu, how are you? I hope you feel better today. Welcome, Dr. Abby. See you. I see you. I had you. Thank you so much, my real lovers and friends and loved ones. Thank you for those who have liked. I appreciate you guys. This thing is not easy, honestly. I don't think a lot of people have they know the work that goes into this thing. I mean, this is not my job. I actually have a job, like I have a career. So, but because of what we've managed to create here, I push even when I'm tired. You guys see, even when I'm sick, it is not easy for you to do an 8 hour shift, and my work is very mental. Like I have to use my brain, sit down on the computer and be typing and writing and writing. You do that for 8 hours and then come and sit down here for another 3 hours. The only way you can encourage me is to like the video, subscribe, and show appreciation once in a while. Yeah. Yeah, I know that. Cece, thank you. Thanks to the people that love me and they got me. I know. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. Welcome everybody. Yeah. Today we want to talk about documents, what our people call documents. So a lot of people are coming to this part of the world for the first time, or people in Africa generally do not understand there is such thing as permanent residence, document, green card, legal stay, indefinite leave to remain, work permit, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. People just assume that once you get a visa, that's it. Just come abroad and the rest is history. Yeah. You will soon find out by the time you arrive that there are limitations to your visa, depending on the kind of visas that you have. And so you find that a lot of people come to this part of the world with visiting visa, which is meant for tourists to just come. You tell them you're coming to see the country and you will go back. And then they stay. And then they overstay. And then when it becomes too long, they cannot, really maximize their stay in this part of the world. They cannot go back. That's what Yoruba will say. Iwájú ò ṣe é lọ, ẹ̀yìn ò ṣe é padà sí. The person will now become stuck. I mean, I'm sure you all know one or two persons in your life uh, that are in this situation that I'm talking about. A lot of our people, unfortunately, are in this situation whereby they find themselves stuck. They can't go back. They cannot really stay. Like their stay is conditional. Until you have an unconditional stay in the abroad. Now one leg you take stand. Personally, for me, even if you have unconditional stay, you are a citizen, you have the passport, I still don't feel like, you know, you can compare yourself to the owners of the land. Last, we're just borrowing our time here. Yeah. I don't know. A lot of people, I mean, I met two young ladies in the US the other day. I was in Texas, and the way they introduced themselves, they said they were from a certain part of America. They said, "Oh, I'm from Maryland." And these are second generation, I think first generation or second generation American, Nigerian American, beautiful ladies. But I can never ever introduce myself and say I'm from London. I can't because I don't feel like I'm not from London. I came here as an adult. A lot of us, except those of you that were born here, will feel that way. You will always feel that way, like you are a visitor. No matter how long you live here, you don't still feel that sense of belonging that this is your home or this is your country. That's just me. But for some people, yeah. Okay, so we want to talk about these uncles today. One of them is a Ghanaian, Nelson Shard, 74-year-old, and he's been in the UK for 45 whole years. A 45-year-old person is not a young person anymore. That is a long time to be in a country. And yet, you cannot believe it that after 45 years, this uncle does not have papers to remain in this country. And now his legitimacy in this country is being challenged by the Home Office and is possibly facing deportation. Hmm. The other one is a Nigerian man, Anthony George, 61 years old, and he's been in England as well for 34 years. I'm going to take the story one at a time so that we can get the cocoa All right. Like you guys always know, we tell these stories because we want to draw lessons from it. Okay. It's usually very important that people know because sometimes we assume that at least everybody will know. No, people don't generally know things. You'll be surprised what people don't know. A lot of people don't know a lot of things. So, knowledge is power. And sharing, bringing out the salient points, the lessons will help people. And that's why it is important for you to give the video a thumbs up. It is important for you to share it because 80% of the people who follow me are living in the diaspora. Yeah, I have people in Africa who watch my channel, but majority are in the diaspora. And those majority, there will be, you know, so many people in that category that are also in this situation. So, you know what they say? We rise by lifting one another up. Mm. Yeah, Baba Simon, good evening. UK for me is one of the most difficult place to get documents. I think it changed since the era of that prime minister called the one they call Margaret Thatcher. Mhm. Iron Lady. It's since that time that their immigration system changed. Women leaders are always more mean. They are always more mean than men. I don't know why. But I've just observed that women, when they come to leadership position, a lot of times they are more mean. I think it's a way of them trying to prove themselves so that they won't see them as weak or that they cannot make tough decisions. But generally, women leaders are usually very wicked. That's my personal observation. So we're going to talk about these uncles, and then we'll take it from there. Prior to Margaret Thatcher, I'm not sure if it started from him, but like Baltimore said, you could get married here and you get paper. Do you know that if you're not a legal resident in the UK, you cannot even get married, except you just go to church and you do blessing. You cannot do legal marriage except you are a resident or you got some status to be here legally. That's how bad it is. Also, if you are not a citizen, your children do not inherit. You know how in America, once a child is born in America, automatically the American citizens and some other parts of the world, I'm not sure if it happens in Canada. In the UK, Akuko, which automatic. Citizenship is not automatic except one of your parents is a British UK citizen with the passports. So it's so difficult in the UK. I'm telling you, a lot of people are stuck in this England. They've been here 40, 30 years. I mean, one shocked me the other day. See, I'm digressing. That's why these shows are usually long. Because when I'm talking, I remember, incidents that I know. Hmm. So this guy, I didn't even know that he hasn't got his legal status because he has a business. He drives, you know, he told me he has a house, and I'm like, how are you able to do all this? So the day he came to me and told me that I should help him, I said, help you with what? He said he needs somebody to, that the only way he can think now, he's exhausted all options. And the home office is still telling him to go back to Nigeria. He's been here for over 20 years. And he was saying that the only way he can claim, that he can file now is through having a child. So I said, okay, why don't you have a child? He said, he hasn't got someone and, he's trying to find somebody that can give him a child so that, even if it means arranging it to pay so that he can file. I'm like, wow, you mean you've done all these things in this country and he travels as well. So I'm like, how do you do that? I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about these uncles. Guys, please give us a thumbs up if you are just joining. We are talking about documents and what people need to know when they come to this part of the world. So we are at 422 viewers and the likes are now up to 200. This is what I was saying. Mhm. Yeah, citizenship in the UK is not automatic. So please make sure you know what the law says. If you come here with a visit visa of 6 months and you think they are going to give you residence, and you know the worst thing? UK is one of the countries in Europe, or we are no longer in Europe now. Geographically, we are still in Europe, but we are not in EU. Where claiming asylum as a Nigerian is almost impossible. Almost impossible. I think people need to have this information before Jackpa, because Jackpa is you guys know is a thing now. Okay, let's get to the stories very quickly to save time. I'm going to talk about this uncle first, the one that the Ghanaian uncle. Let's talk about him first. Yeah. Why is a man this matured, been in the UK for 45 whole years? Why is he paperless? Why is he without document? And why is he being told that he cannot stay? Can you imagine spending so much of your life in a country? And I mean, if you look at his life at 74, he's been in England for 45 years. So that means he stayed longer in England than in his country of Ghana. Okay. So what happened to him? Let's get to the story and share it. Give us a thumbs up, guys. Give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much to everybody that has liked. My God will bless you. Nancy Shade. There's a Y on his name that I omitted. I'm going to add it later. It's Shade. So he was a former storekeeper and was in Merseyside. He's now pursuing and challenging the Home Office, which is our where they get papers, documents, and a lot of things. They are basically like your, I don't know what you call it in America, because they refused him indefinite leave to remain despite living in the UK for 45 years. So indefinite leave is like green card. Is what you guys call green card. Right. So Nelson Shade, 74, came to the UK from Ghana when he was only 28 years old. 28. So the majority of his life has been spent here. He came on a student visa in 1977. Some of you were not born then. And he's lived in this country since then. He retired as a news agent and has two sons living in the UK. He has no access to public funds or pension credits after the Home Office refused to grant him the green card, which is the indefinite leave to remain, and wrongly advised him to apply for Windrush scheme. So the Windrush one is a different something. Okay, you call it USCIS. Okay, that's what we call. So whenever you hear us saying Home Office, yeah, it's equivalent. They asked him to apply for Windrush. He's not from Windrush is mainly people from the Caribbean who came to help this country to build back in the 70s. That was a very big scandal a couple of years ago before the pandemic. Can you, oh my goodness. Oh, we need to fix our continent. Oh, we need to fix our black people. We need to fix our land. Can you believe that the people that came to help build this country in the 70s, a lot of them have been living. That is what Windrush is. That's what I'm trying to explain to you now. Apparently, a lot of them they didn't even get resident permits to stay here. Talk less of citizenship. Most of them have been here 40 years above. They told them to go back. They are mostly from the Caribbean. So there was a big, investigation, and, people came out, and, so many things were revealed. If you Google it, you will see Windrush. Yeah. So they told him to apply for that, and I'm not sure he qualifies for that because he's from Ghana. Um, for 31 years, he was running his shop, and he said that he believed he had British citizenship until he tried to apply for a visa to attend his mother's funeral in Ghana in 2019. So when I read this, I was a bit confused. How are you in a country and you think you have citizenship? Is citizenship by the length of years that you stay, or did you actually have a documentation showing that you are a citizen? Yeah, I don't know why people take things for granted. I find that a lot of all these uncles, they usually take all these things for granted. Yeah, they do. I don't know why. Say he assumed. So it means that for 31 years, he didn't go to Ghana. He didn't visit anybody until 2019 when he was trying to go back to Ghana. And this was only because he was going to attend his mother's funeral. And he said that the Home Office granted him 2.5 years limited leave. But they later revoked it after he made a mistake in the application in 2022. And at the time, he was undergoing treatment for cancer. And he said there is no help when filling out the application forms. I could have cried, but I always bottle everything in and never show my emotions. Surprise, very typical of an African man. I was really shocked, Shade said. All along, I knew I'm part of this country because this is where I lived and this is where I've been working. This is where I've contributed to everything. I have never come across any difficulty in any department that I don't belong here. So last year, the Home Office told this uncle to restart his route to settlement and that he must apply again for a limited leave to remain every 2.5 years and pay thousands of visa fees until he completes 10 years of leave. So what they are doing to him now is that they are using, because you know how the immigration law changes depending on the government of the day. UK, they are very good at changing their immigration laws. What it was yesterday, 2 years ago, is not what it is today. You'll be surprised. Mm. Now they are using the measure that is in place now to the route to get your indefinite leave, which is 10 years. That's what they are using for somebody that's been here for 45 years. Can you imagine? Who had a business? I'm sure he paid his taxes. Hmm. So they are telling him to start the process now and start applying. So his children, he's got two children. They liken him to big friendly giant. They had no reason to doubt his citizenship as he was granted mortgages, paid taxes, completed jury service, and he was able to get married and have three children in the UK during the time as a news agent. He was well known locally and handed the Macy Marvel Award in 2007 after he saved a friend from a robber. Hmm. So to him, he was like, I see the whole community appreciating who you are, the way they welcome you, the way they are more or less regard you as a human being, not a stranger. And I'm really happy I got on well with everyone. But home office say, oh, you know, whether your community like you or not, you don't have any legal stay. Hmm. So when they wrote to him, this is what the home office said. They said that yes, they accept that his whole life is in the UK. But this is not going to change. So there is no rationale, purpose for him to put through what the Home Office called a probationary period. Hmm. So, according to his son, somebody in the Home Office, a worker there, an officer there, advised him to apply for the Windrush scheme in 2022, despite not being eligible, which added another 18 months to his time, and effectively, he became someone that is living no man's land. Yeah. Now, the worst part of the situation now is that if he has now paid thousands or paying thousands of pounds in fees, if he loses the legal challenge, because now he's taking them, he's challenging their decision, he's challenging the Home Office. And you know what it means to hire a solicitor here to go to court. It's not a joke. You're going to incur a lot of BC. Because now you have to pay the lawyer to go to court for you. You have to pay them for the work, the papers that they will write for you. You know, so many things. Yeah. And as usual, when the newspaper is the Guardian is the one I'm reading from. When they approached the Home Office to comment, they said it would be inappropriate to comment on an active legal proceedings. That's usually their that is usually their line. We cannot comment on individual cases. It would be wrong to comment on individual cases or a legal case or a case that is still under investigation. Yeah. So that's how this uncle ended up in this country for 45 years. No Bali. He cannot go anywhere. He's been married twice. He has three children, adults, 45 whole years. And now he's even retired at 74. He has to go to court now and he has to be applying, and they will give him 2.5. When he ends, he will apply again. And remember, every process when you are applying, you have to pay. UK again has one of the most expensive visa system in terms of what you pay. So all these applications, that's why we're telling the people that were jackpotting the other day, do you have money to renew? Because when you jackpot based on student visa or whatever visa you're coming with, when you come here and you want to extend your stay, they are going to ask you to pay things like, I heard one time that it's £2,000 each for a family of six. What are we looking at? Even if it's just husband, wife, and two children, £2,000 each. That is for the visa fee alone. Oh. If you have a lawyer, we are not including that too. The money you pay the lawyer to help you do the application. Because part of the reasons why a lot of this application fail is because they don't fill the form properly. Something as simple as filling a form can make them reject your application. So now they are telling him to be applying for 2.5, 4 times. So 10 years, add 10 years to 74. Uncle will be 84 years old. uh which time is he going to get the passport? When is he going to use it? When will the passport be useful to him? However, before I round up on the case of this one, there's something I need to bring out there. Ladies and gentlemen, please give us a thumbs up. He said that this Uncle Nelson said that he assumed. So if you are here in the abroad, anywhere you are, please don't make any assumption. Assumption is not something you can present in courts. You can't present it as evidence that, oh, I thought you people have given me citizen. I thought I have a resident permit. No, you need evidence. You need the paper. So in a way, you can see that is either he didn't have the knowledge or maybe he just forgot about it. He didn't think about it because in his mind it was like, after I've been here so long, I have a business, I have a house, I'm married to a Igbo woman, we have children. It's a given. No, it's never a given. You can stay in the abroad 50 years, you will still an illegal immigrant. You need to have that paper in your hand that says you have been granted indefinite leave or you have been granted citizenship. They will now invite you to come and do ceremony. Yeah, they will now induct you to the British country, England society, whatever. What do they call? Adama, please remind me. What do they call that? Who has done that? Naturalization. That's the word I'm looking for. You have to naturalize to become British. You now do the ceremony. They will give you the naturalization certificates. It is with the naturalization that you now apply for your British passport. So we all had it. We all naturalize except the children, because those who are born here don't need to naturalize. If you are British and your children are born here, they will give them passports immediately, even if they are born in Nigeria. So you cannot make any, you can't say I assume. I thought no. You need to know your immigration status. It's very, very, very important. As a matter of fact, if you have documents in the home office that you've applied, whether here, anywhere in the world that you are, you've applied, make sure you follow it up. Don't say because they've given you temporary work permit, you can work now. Yeah, you are just carrying on and you forget about it. Because these people, they know they forget anything. No. They have record as far back as the day you enter this country. If they pull this uncle's file, his visa that he used to come as a student coming to England, he will be there. They will do a chronology. You'll be shocked that there will be a chronology of 45 years of his existence. So please don't assume. I wanted to bring that up because you can say that he was also negligent in that part. Even though they gave him wrong information, but he shouldn't even be applying now because back then when he came, it was easier. The laws of immigration was easier then. He could have gotten it since 1970 something, but he didn't. So, and another thing I want to add, anything you are qualified for in the abroad as immigrants, whatever it is you are qualified for, they say today, oh, you qualify for this. Even if you feel like you don't need it, please take it. You better take it because there's no guarantee that it will be there tomorrow. The day they tell you that you qualify for your passport, apply for your passport. Even if the passport is, I remember when I applied for my passport back in the day, it was about £700. How much is it to apply? Who applied for British passport like their first passport? How much is it? I'm sure it's more than that now. No, it was the naturalization, not the passport itself. The naturalization was 700 that year because the passport is not expensive. But the process of the naturalization, you need to fill the document, you pay. Everything you pay. And they keep increasing it. Do you know how much money they make? So please don't take things for granted. Naturalization is 1,350 now. Okay. Now let's move to the other uncle. Thank you very much, diplomat. This uncle is a Nigerian, okay? His name is Anthony Olubumi George. He's 61 years old. Okay. He has been refused uh he's been refused leave to remain despite living most of his adult life in Britain. I'm reading from the Guardian again. In this uncle's situation, he's a disabled man, lived in the UK for 35 years, and the Home Office is actually threatening to remove him. Yeah, they are threatening to remove him, so he's actually facing deportation. He definitely live his 3,300, Tonya. Lóòótọ́, Jésù. Ah, 3,300. Hey, hey. That's somebody's salary. Ẹ gbà mí. I told you. You see how they charge? Hmm. Indefinite leave is not passport, oh. After indefinite leave, you will still do the naturalization, oh. It's a process. I'm streaming. I'm using my phone. What do you need? I just need you to press a link to verify my bank. I'm trying to create. Can you do it later? Do you have to do it now? Okay. Let me finish. Wait, okay? I'll soon finish. Guys, please give us a thumbs up. Okay, so what happened with this Uncle Lubumi? Uncle Lubumi came to the UK when he was just 24 years old in 1986 from Nigeria. And since 1986, he has not left the UK. He has not left. I saw a comment just now where somebody said that their friends spent 17,000. I missed it. Yeah, this is it. Jay said a friend's sister paid £17,000 last week to extend their postgraduate visa for a family of 6. Thank you for that information. So those people who come with a large family, they will pay. Oh, imagine 17,000. How are they going to raise that money? That's a lot of money, and you still need to pay your bills for the month and the months to come. Adama said UK did worse to the Windrush people. They won't spare him. So sad. The environment is very hostile. They have been giving Oyibo Italians who have been here for about 50 years because of Brexit. Yeah. Now, and the thing about them is that they are not sentimental. They don't care if you like walk by tomorrow. You see how the Guardian is saying that this uncle Lubibi is a disabled man. You know, oh, Royal, they don't send you. They don't send you. Um, he's not left to go back to Nigeria since he came. And he's been here for 38 years. Since 1986. In 2019, he had two strokes, which left him with problems with speech and mobility. So he's a wheelchair user. Yeah. When George arrived, Margaret Thatcher was prime minister. Did I not just call his name? Margaret Thatcher, that woman. She was the prime minister back then. And now we have Rishi. Rishi Sunak is the ninth to hold the office since George has lived in the UK. So that means between Margaret Thatcher and the current prime minister, he's been here through how many prime minister? Nine prime ministers. Nine. This is the ninth one since this Uncle Lubimi has been here. They said that the Guardian is reporting that he has endured many periods of homelessness and says he has lost count of number of people who have given him shelter over the years. He says he no longer has any close family in Nigeria. He's made multiple applications to stay in the UK, which the Home Office rejected. All the applications, they reject them. Wow. Maureen said, my husband has been refused right to live in the UK despite being an Italian. Yeah, since they left Brexit, they don't send anybody for EU again. So the last application they rejected for this Uncle George Olubumi is 7th of May this year. So one of the things that affected his own case was the fact that they said he employed a solicitor in 2005 who used a forced entry stamp on his passport. And so it was reported to the police. So whenever you want to do anything with the Home Office, please don't try any forgery. Don't. Anything that has to do with these people's land, they are not like our land where Chinese people can come. All the people, what do they call them? They will come. Indians will come. These ones will come to Nigeria and do whatever they like because it's no man's land. Nobody cares. These people, they actually care about their land. And so they will verify. If you go and put fake stamp, they will know. If you submit fake document, they will verify. So do your best. I know some Nigerians, forgery is in their blood. Try not to forge anything. Try not to because, yeah. Okay. There was an issue of forged entry. You know how you come into the country and they stamp your passport? I think they tried to stamp it when he was already here. Okay? And so the Home Office found out that it was fake. He said he doesn't know anything about it. And that, he was not aware that the lawyer did that, which was his former lawyer. But you know them, ignorance is not an excuse in the law. They will not take that. That you didn't know. Kilo con, they don't send you. Is it your passport? Yes. Is there a fake stamp on it? Yes. How the fake stamp got there is none of their business. It's your passport, your responsibility. So make sure that even if somebody was advising you pay, just stamp your entry and backdate it or bring it forward so that they don't know you are here. If they find out, Oyibo people tend not to like anything that is forgery. They abhor anything that is fraudulent or forgery. They don't like it at all because they work on the straight and narrow. There's only those ones that work in all these offices. Not like they don't have people that do wuru wuru too. I'm not saying yeah, but largely they are very very honest. So if you bring forged documents, wahala ló bá dé. So that was the thing that really affected this uncle's application. Uh, they said that unfortunately, this is not something that is considered an exceptional circumstance. So his current lawyer lodged an application to appeal, and they said that, yeah, it's an ongoing case. The uncle said that I don't know how many different sofas I slept on. Too many to count. I don't have my life. Living the way I'm living now. My head problem since I have had the stroke is the biggest worry. All I'm asking is some kindness from the home office. The lawyer said that he's been living in limbo for 38 years with no family. He suffered two stroke, no family left in Nigeria. The situation is not just because of home office policies, but also because of poor representation by the previous solicitor who failed to uphold professional integrity and ethical standards. Again, when they approached the home office, what was their response? They said, the home office spokesman said, applications have to be considered on their own individual merits in accordance with the immigration rules, with the responsibility on applicants to demonstrate they meet these rules. Shangbo Igbo, now they are English. So that is the story of Uncle Lubimi, 38 years in limbo. Life in limbo. Even before, I'm sure it's part of the stress of the situation that caused him to have, because I mean, when you don't have documents, working is an issue. What's he gonna do? He say he's sleeping around in sofas. He say people are, how long can people take you in? No matter how they like you, they will take you in for a while. After a while, they'll tell you, "Hey, uncle, please come and go. Come and go." Yeah. I'm sure the stress of all this, impacted on his health, and subsequently had two strokes. Now he's ill. His mobility has been impaired. Speech has been impaired as a result of stroke. Yet, they are not looking at it on a compassionate, like, it's like, I don't know. The way they apply, I think it depends on the person that is looking at your case. Some of them are just, I don't know, they are like judges. No sentiment. They will not even consider you because of anything. They can send anybody home. Even if you are almost buying, they will tell you, "Oh yeah, come and pack your things and go." Yeah. So this is what people go through. And that's why you will hear people in Africa say, "Oh, my father is abroad. We've not heard from him. He's been there. He's never come home. We don't know what is happening to him." Because sometimes after a while, the frustration will set in. And for, on this Uncle Olubumi now, people like that, they'll cut off from everybody because, you know how life is. Life can be very, very cruel. When you're not meeting up with expectation, there's a lot of expectation from home. People are calling you, you are in the abroad, they expect you to solve problem and you cannot solve problem. After a while, when the wahala is too much, you cannot keep up, you cut off. Nobody will have your number anymore, which is even more isolating for you, because now you're not talking to your friends, you're not talking to your family back home. So again, iwájú ò ṣe lọ, ẹ̀yìn ò ṣe padà sí. The person is stuck. So I mean, there's a lot of learning here. This day and age, I say to people, if you know that your visa is going to expire and you've applied, they deny you, don't stay. Go back. Some people will not like it if you tell them to go back, but it's better for you to go back, try to come legally than stay here. Because staying here can really be frustrating. Yeah, it can really be frustrating. What's the point? When you are not entitled to anything, you cannot even walk. Even if you are walking, you have to bring cash in hand. And so I usually advise people, If you are a student, for instance, and your student visa is about to expire, you try to extend it. If they deny you for whatever reason, just go back. The worst thing that can happen to you is to stay here when you've been told to return to your country and you become an illegal immigrant. That is a is a long road and is a very slippery road, and it's very, very difficult. Yeah. Some people have fear of going back. When they tell them to go back, they'll be like, "Wow, what am I going to go back to? I can't go back. Do you know where the way Nigeria is? What am I going to go back to? I can't go back. My life is here." But you know what? I know people that have gone back and they've even been better. It's neither here nor there. But staying here and not having paper is the worst thing ever. Somebody says it's worse in Canada. Rebecca. So yeah, I'm sharing my link if you want to share. What should people do when they come here to ensure that you don't fall into this category? Because now, for them to be coming to social media that newspapers are carrying their story now, you know that this is just a cry out for help. Yeah, I mean, the abroad is very difficult, even if you are a citizen. Talk less of you not having legal stay. There are some countries in Europe that police will stop you and ask you to show your document, to show your papers, to show your passport or whatever. Yeah. So that is a very, very big issue. It's a very, very big issue. And unfortunately, it's something that a lot of people back home do not understand. Thank you very much, everybody. Please give us a thumbs up and jump into the comment section and use the link to comment if you have something to add, to contribute, advice to share, or we're just trying to learn and see how people can. What can you do if you're in a situation like this? Or let's say you've not stayed here for 40 years or 38 years, as the case may be, but you are already expired or about to expire with your documents here. What should you do? Somebody said, like in Germany, police can just stop you and ask you papers. Frank said, to be legal immigrant is a long thing. You will become a vulnerable species. People go use you do footmaths. Yeah. Yeah. And unfortunately, a lot of our people don't like going to lawyer. They don't like using lawyer because they think about the money. Again, it's not free. And if you are not a resident, or you're not a citizen, you don't even have access to legal aid. Mm? Misty said there should be pro bono immigration lawyers who can make great arguments for attorney on a humanitarian and compassionate ground. I hope so. Yeah. Since Jibala said almost 200 million Nigerians stay here. 200 million Nigerians stay here in Nigeria. It may be tough, but it's certainly better than dancing, ducking, and diving as an illegal immigrant. I agree with you. If people are surviving there, you will survive. It is better for you to return to your country than to be an illegal immigrant. It's not good. Hey, Cece, you're right.
Hey, Auntie B, how are you? Hey, Obodo fam, how's everybody?
We're good.
Good, good. Do you know this story? It's close to my heart because the same. I think I wrote in the comments. The same thing happened to an aunt of mine. So one day we were just, and this is like a close family relative. Um, she is in her 70s now, early 70s now. But at the time that the incident happened, nobody knew that she was undocumented in the UK. She's been here since the 80s, the like mid 80s. That's how long she's been in the country. She's been working, jobs here and there, and it's just never been a thing. So one day, I think she was doing her, I think she does like care, working in one of these care places outside London, and they did a raid. So they came, obviously, home office they come to check people have their, so they obviously go around, they ask you for your status, like, what's your name, so that they can check your details. And lo and behold, this auntie, then she was like maybe she was like her mid 60s. She didn't have any documentation.
Hmm.
She didn't have a passport. She didn't have even she was using, I think, these people that use other people's names to be
Yes.
all this year she's been using somebody else's name in terms of working, right?
Hmm. And
And
she got
then they
comfortable without telling
she
you
got she,
guys.
she got she got comfortable. No, we never knew. Like nobody in the family knew that this
Hmm.
was what she was passing. So apparently there was somebody who eventually, when they got rounded up, she now got detained, right? So she was detained. So imagine she's gone to work, expecting to go back home, and you go to work and you're just rounded. How, for me, I just feel like, wow, it's so it's like very unstabilizing. It's just like, okay, the day of reckoning has come. But for
Hmm.
somebody at that age to be in that situation, it was really shocking. So she called our family, and we got to find out that she had been detained, and they'd taken her to what's is it detention center,
Detention center.
immigration
Yeah,
detention
detention
center,
center.
like outside London, and she's somebody who lives in South London. They
Hmm.
sent her, I don't know, is it Aylesbury or all these far, far places, God knows where. So
Hmm.
obviously now the family have to be running around. We don't know, what's happening. But it was a long battle, because every time they put application in to say, this is the reason, she didn't understand, she was misadvised when she came, they kept on rejecting. They were like, nope, this is the date. They had a date for her removal. They had a date,
Hmm.
and she was
Wow.
60. She had been in the detention center like almost 4 years, right?
Jesus.
I swear, Auntie B, it
Four
was
years.
crazy. 4 years.
Oh
And
my
this my auntie's
God.
in she's in her 70s, and they did not give a damn. She didn't pick a pin of clothing, no items. They just packed her in. Whatever you were wearing is what you went to the detention center in. And luckily, at least she has family. So for people who don't even have family, or they don't have maybe people to call, how do you survive? My
So
mom was, it was crazy,
what I
but
wanted to chip in there is that you see, like what happened to your auntie is very common
it's
for
very
people
common.
when they start using other people's document to war, they forget about applying for themselves. They become
Absolutely.
comfortable. They become
Yeah.
comfortable, but they've forgotten that this is not who you are. So don't
Yeah.
forget, just because you are using somebody's document temporarily, you must get your own, make your own applications. So, like you said, your auntie has been here for a long time, so she could have
A
applied.
long
She
time. She
didn't
could
even
have. She
apply.
could have. She
She
didn't
didn't
apply.
apply.
And I mean, and I feel like sometimes it becomes like there's a comfortability that people get used to living here. They get into the routine of working, then nobody's checked them, they're earning their money, they're paying, they're getting the by, they have a certain level of comfort, and they just become complacent. I think that's the word. They forget to do, go back and do, or maybe it's a financial thing as well, which I feel like if you had put in all the years you've been here, if you add all the money that you've been sending home and all these things, you could have done your, applied for your visa, and, done your documents the correct way. But lo and behold, apparently, when everything was discovered, she had tried to put an application in.
Mhm.
And what the person that she dealt with, maybe a recommendation from somebody was, I'm not saying this to be mean to our community, but we have a problem in our community where we always want to do things to shaft each other. So the lawyer that she got misadvised her and submitted her documents incorrectly. But instead of the
Wow.
person to tell her that they just kept on. The guy was just asking for money. Oh, I need more money for this. So she was paying the person, paying the person. He was saying he was submitting the documents. The man was not submitting any documents on her behalf. He was just taking her money,
Wow.
right? Because she was dealing with somebody from our Ugandan community. Sorry, the guy wasn't actually Ugandan. It was West African person. I'm not going to say to cause war in the comments, but you know who it probably is, right? But the point is I'm making. Sometimes these legal matters, for me, I will always opt to go externally. Get a white lawyer, get a white representative, or whatever. Sometimes our own people, we just do things in a
In
it's
our
like a half-hearted.
community.
We just
Yes.
don't care. We'll give,
Yeah.
and then the person was even advising her to claim asylum. Which asylum? There's no
After
war
being here
happening
for
in
so
Uganda.
long.
After
Yeah.
being here in 2000 and something, you are telling us to claim asylum for what?
Wow.
Rubbish. But anyways, lo and behold, I don't know if it's by God's grace, all the prayers that we did, somehow the family came together. We got like a proper lawyer, and I mean, it went backwards and forwards for a while. And after COVID, I think everything that happened with COVID kind of helped the situation.
Mhm.
So lo and behold, one day, they just wrote to her and they said, "Oh, they're giving her stay." But they had already given her a date to leave, and it was only because of COVID happened that things were everything shut down, and she was held here. She couldn't actually leave, but they'd given her a date to leave in, I think it was like April 2020. But obviously we went into lockdown. Everybody was in lockdown for like what, 2-3 years almost before
And
the
she was
country
still
got
in
back
the
to normal.
detention.
She was still in the detention center, yeah. So
My
she
goodness.
only got out maybe, I think, just after like 2022, something like that, is when everything went through, and she was granted her indefinite leave to remain under, I think, special circumstance. And she's 74 now.
Goodness.
So it's just crazy, if people are in this situation, I feel like
Okay.
sometimes,
There's
yeah.
something I need to
So,
bring out here. Now,
yeah.
she's been working all these years and been here. Is she going to have any pension because she's not been
And
working
to
in
be,
her
she can't
name?
have she doesn't have any pension. Of course, there's no pension.
That's
The
one
only
thing we
thing
need
she
to
was
bring out.
doing was there was only one thing she was doing was sending money home. For her anyway, she's of that mindset. I'm going to go back home eventually, because even the office were telling her, you have, you can go back home. You've got family there. There's no reason for you to be here. You don't actually have anything substantial here. You don't have children here and all these things, but she just didn't want to, because I don't think she was ready. It wasn't her time to say, okay, I'm retiring and going back. But for her, small things she's been doing back home. But I mean, it's not enough to just uproot somebody when they're not prepared and dump them back in Africa to start from where.
Hmm.
So it's terrible. But yeah, pension, all those contributions over the year, there's nothing.
She won't have
So
any
in the
pension. You can't have
no,
a
of course
pension
not.
when you are working using somebody else's
You
details.
can't. The pension is in whoever's name, but you get nothing from that. So, I mean, it's a sad situation, but sometimes ignorance is not, you said it already, ignorance is not an
It's not an
excuse,
excuse.
unfortunately.
It's not.
There's so many resources, there's so many places that you can speak to anonymously, you can speak to work if you need support in terms of like.
Sissy,
But
why do
it's
you think that?
crazy.
I mean, she's your mom is here, and who is her sister? How come she never mentioned it to you guys
No,
that
my mom is not her sister, but it's just a relative.
yeah,
A
I
close
mean,
relative. I
yeah,
think
close
I think it
relative.
became I think it became, I don't know, because my even our family, we asked her, we were like, why did you not say anything? Like, why? She just was like, oh, she was embarrassed. People just assumed. And there were things that happened, like, maybe sometimes people will say, oh, you've not traveled back home. It will be like, oh, I don't have money. Just all these excuses, rather than you to come out and say, oh, I'm having this problem. I don't yet have my documents, which can somebody advise? I think it's a
Yeah,
shame thing. That,
yeah,
to me, that's what I feel like it is, because really, if she came to us as a family and said, look, this is my situation, what can we collect the money for her, start putting things? We have one of my aunts who was actually representing her in the beginning. She's an immigration lawyer. She could have gone to her. I mean, the resources are there. I just feel like sometimes people are just ashamed that
yeah.
they've left it too long, they haven't sorted it out, and they just feel like, well, it's been working for me, it's going to continue working for me. And for as long as, and I mean, it had been working for all
Till it
those
doesn't work.
years, and then,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
eventually everything catches up.
It, it,
So
it works until it doesn't work. Thank you so much, Sissy,
absolutely,
for
you're
sharing.
welcome. Thank you,
All
Auntie
right, I
B.
appreciate you. I mean, oh God, what's she gonna do for money now? There are so many questions in my head at that age. At that age, what's she gonna do? She's at the retirement age now. So let me say something about shame, because shame is a big part of it. And you know how I told you guys about how shame is a big thing in our culture. We like to shame one another. I mean, on different levels. I don't need to mention that. However, if you are listening to this live broadcast and you belong to this category, please, if you don't take anything from this show tonight, take the fact that everybody has been there at one point. This land does not belong to us. We all came here. Either you came here yourself as an adult, or your parents came here and gave birth to you here. So please swallow that shame. Put it on one corner and speak out. I'm not saying you should, go to Instagram and put your problem on Facebook there, but you need to speak to people, especially your family who you know. Like Sissy was saying, that there's a family member who is an immigration lawyer. But the problem is that people get comfortable just because I'm working. I can rent one room and pay my bills. Maybe I'm sending small money to Africa to do things. You get comfortable. You need to speak out because I kid you not, somebody was asking in the comment section if they search and ask for document in the UK. So in my experience, I don't think they do that a lot to stop you. Even if the police stop you, they are not necessarily going to ask you for your passport. They don't do that. But they do raid businesses quite a lot. So they target businesses where they believe that somebody without immigration status is working. And they find those businesses heavily. And that's why now people don't want to employ people except you got your document, because if they find you, I don't even know how much. Once upon a time, it used to be £5,000 for one person. So if you have two people working for you who are illegal immigrants, that's £10,000 on your business. So as a small business owner, would you want to take that risk? No, you don't want to. Yeah, stop and search is not for that one. Is for crime. It's not for immigrant. It's not for. It's always been. It's always existed. To be honest, it's not Richie that is starting it. It's always been in place since since I came to this country. They've been doing it. Okay, now it's 10,000 per person. How would you employ somebody when you know that if immigration comes to your business today, they're going to, if you cannot produce the person's right to work or live in the UK, they will fine you 10,000 for one person. So all this, if you have aunties and uncle, you better be asking them. Maybe you can ask them to show you what their paper is. Then ask them with respect, auntie, especially the ones that have never traveled anywhere. Ask them, auntie, uncle, where is your paper? Can I have a look? Let me see for you, just to be sure. Because you see, and this thing happens to people who've forgotten about it. You see, they are all elderly. And at this point in their life, oh my God, this is the stress that they don't need. Honestly, it's so heartbreaking. Man of Presi say, I have aunties and uncles who have been stuck here since mid-90s. Some even have opportunities to go and come with clean paper. Simon go by their style, but it's risky. They are scared. Yeah, someone like Simon with all his money that is flaunting. Did you know that he's not a citizen in America? Yeah, you will never know until people tell you, and people know how to hide. They will hide it. Okay, let the conversation continue. Bumi, welcome, darling. How are you?
Auntie B, long time. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Can you hear me? Let me increase my. Okay. Okay. Obodo fam, how una dey? Please help us like and share. We have this are 100K plaque. We're supposed to have it since last year, if
Huh,
not prior. Oh,
huh.
Asumi buy. Seriously, Auntie B supposed to be hanging that plaque on the wall. All of
Let me
us.
tell you something. If by December I don't get it, I'm quitting YouTube
I
completely.
concur. I support that
I'm
movement.
leaving. I will
Seriously,
just close YouTube and leave. If I don't get
seriously,
100K by December this year, that's
seriously.
no
Which
begging.
December? Auntie B, you are like 99, 9, I think last time I checked, I don't remember, 90 something, no? You
It
can get
doesn't
it before
matter.
your birthday.
Are they subscribing? People are not subscribing. They come to watch and go.
You guys,
I
seriously.
will just scroll.
No.
I'll go to TikTok. I could like TikTok. The videos are very short. I will be dancing. I start dancing. Before you know, I'll get monetized. There's the growth in TikTok. I hear is very fast. I don't tire. Honestly,
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Please, you guys, let's like it, let's share. It's really these discussions. I don't know where else you can find these types of quality discussion. I'm not even saying to say I don't go on anybody else's platform except for here. So, and we are all here. Mark Maderawa. So let's be doing the right thing, please. Thank you. I
thank
appreciate in
you.
the future. Auntie B, I
Yeah,
just wanted to say something. Oh, thank you for bringing this topic. I just wanted to say, like you said, there's no shame what I find that in our community, African, maybe I'll say Nigerian specifically because that's where I'm from, is that we don't like to share information. We'll be hoarding it to say, oh, Maybe I don't know, maybe we are blocking, I don't know, or you think that the person will steal your shine or will steal your blessing, which is not true. I don't know why we still have that type of mindset. But information is power. And even if someone tells you something and you're not sure, maybe you think that maybe I don't know, maybe they send them from your village in disguise to the obodoibo. You second guess it. You can ask somebody else. So I'm going to use my example. When I gave birth to my son, I I needed at the time me and my partner were not married. So I needed him to come. Not visit. I just needed to visit, right? So long story short, I knew another thing that I see that we lack. Well, I don't think we lack it. We just don't want to do it. Is that we don't want to go through the steps. We don't want to do it ourselves. Maybe it's rigorous for some reason. I don't know, or we feel like I don't know. We just don't want to do it by ourselves. We don't want to go through the information, or we don't want to do the process ourselves. So in Canada's case, I I was like, okay, I actually have gone through the steps because I know people around. I just wanted him to come and visit. So long story short, oh, I used lawyer, and this lawyer was recommended from a church member, was recommended to me. And
Mhm.
I knew going in that this says the clause was that if blah 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 blah, they will not grant the person visa. So I told the man and I said, so this is it or this is it. He said, no, you have a child. He's the father. Canada don't like single parents. I said, okay. He gassed me up. Me too, I'm like, okay. And I went to his office. He hung all his certificate on the wall. Plus, me too, I'm not going to lie. I was desperate. And that was the first person that they recommended to me. When I mean the person that recommended to me, I didn't even think to say, okay, maybe let me go somewhere else because again, he's from the church and he's a Nigerian. So I was like, okay, and he's a seasoned man. He's older, like maybe in his 50s. I was like, let me go through, let me use him. Again, I knew that on the website it says if, but this man gave me reason to believe otherwise. So I chose to believe him. That's my issue now. And I gave him 2K to process it. Something that you could have done yourself, eh,
Mhm.
without paying. Secondly, something that is already on the website that says otherwise. But because he's a barrister or solicitor or whatever, I chose to believe him. And do you know the anointing? I was still the one following him bumper to bumper. And I remember that time I just gave birth. 2 months in, I will go. You know how this Canada is large. That time I didn't drive. I will take bus. Sometimes I will take 5 buses to go
Hmm.
and meet him. I'll go to the office. I will sit down there. I was still breastfeeding. My breast will be clogged, and it was in the dead of winter. I will go. The call will be catching me. I will sit down there. I was, man. You know that I was still the one that did all the processing because this one will just say, send me this thing, send me this thing, send me this thing. We'll do Zoom call, me, him, and the lawyer. I will not be cross-checking this. I'm like, Uncle, what are we paying you for? Are we just paying for your signature? I did not mind. It's a reflection that I am saying all these things. We sent it to him. So I just told him that I already forecasted that this man is not a serious person. Like maybe he doesn't have time. Let me log in. Give me the username and password. I'll be checking it. So I took the username and password. I was checking it, checking it, checking it. So I checked. That's how I checked though. And then I saw that they said you are declined. For the sole reason that I already told this man,
Mhm.
I was declined. Hey, after 2K has gone. And after the time, that time that we put in 5 months, we could have used that time to find other means. Because there was other means, but this was the quickest to get him to come. So I
Mhm.
was like, what? And do you know what this man would tell me? He said I should go and seek asylum.
Mhm.
I said, how will I seek asylum? You two please be using your head.
When you've been
I'm
there
on work
already.
permit. I'm on work
Uh-huh.
permit. I just gave birth. And my work permit has not expired though. It's not like it has expired. It wasn't even, maybe it was close to 1 year. It was going on 1 year in. And I had two and a half. So what is my ground to go and seek? I don't
Yes.
understand.
Yes.
Wrong information with all his chest, with the audacity. I was like, what is all this? Like seriously. And he had no empathy. He had no justification. He didn't even say, okay, I will give you a partial refund though, or I'm sorry, or he was still, or we're like, okay, you can go back to school. Uncle, I just finished school that I did 3 years and I paid close to 50K. And you want, are you, I was mad. I
Somebody
was
said
mad
don't
that
use
day.
the old ones because those ones, their work ethics is already formed from Nigeria. Even if you want to use an African lawyer, use the younger ones. At least
And
those
to be
ones,
since
if they
that day,
remain here, they
I
will have
learnt my
work
lesson.
ethics. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Mm.
since that day I learned my lesson. I'm like, it won't happen again. So I then, I sat down, I took my time. That's like what Cece said. I went to an Asian woman. Her bill was 4K. When I got there, see, better people. When I got there, she looked at me. She looked at my case. She was like, you don't need me. You can do this yourself. Just do this, and you'll be fine. And I'm like, okay, if you say so, I don't need you. I will do it myself. And I did it myself, and we got it, Auntie B.
Yeah, imagine. So a lot of all this application you can do yourself. It's just for you to take the time to sit down, read properly, go to the website, and just browse it properly, get the information, fill the application forms, and you can do it. What you are, some of you pay the lawyers for something you can do. You are just paying them money for nothing.
I swear.
Yeah,
I swear. Also, the thing that saved me, like I said, was that I was on top of the issue. I was calling him, I was following him bumper to bumper. I
yeah.
wanted to make sure.
Some
And
people they
like,
will even deny. They will not tell the person that they've denied them.
yes,
Like Sisi was saying about that, their family member. They will deny your application. They will not even tell you. They'll be collecting money from you.
exactly. So I want us to explore other people, like second guess the information you are told. It doesn't matter if it's your best friend. Second guess that information. Go and make sure that whoever told you that information, what they are saying, they know. Because, like you said, information gets changed. Like it updates immigration information. They update it every day, every
Yeah,
day. So what was true yesterday is not what is true today. So
yeah,
that's my story. I just pray
mm,
that we always take the cautious route and don't assume. Make sure what they said there. If the English is too hard, let's use another dictionary because that was the thing that was my issue. Was like they were using one big English.
Google is your
Are you
friend.
sure?
Any dictionary is on Google. Any word you don't understand, just put it on Google. Put the meaning
Yeah,
there. It will come out.
yeah.
It will break it down for you. Check the synonyms. It will even show you different names for the same thing. So don't worry about English. That's not a problem. Emma, thank you very much for the super chat. Bumi, I appreciate you. Thanks for calling. Emma, God bless you. Thanks for the $50. Truly appreciate it. Winty Jojo, your internet connection is not good. Can you put it on properly? Your WhatsApp, what's it called? Your Wi-Fi. I can't add you the way it is. So put it on properly. Honey babe, I'm gonna come to you in a minute. Winter Georgia, if you can hear me, your internet is not good. Please give us a thumbs up. We are talking about something that is very, very important to our people. We are immigrants. And we have two uncles here, in case you're just joining us. Two uncles, elderly men. One of them in his 70s, 74 years old, 45 years in the UK. The other one, Uncle Olubumi, 61, 34 years here. And they are telling them, you can't stay here. So how do people allow these things to get this far? Is it just lack of taking things seriously? Is it ignorance or is it just nonchalancy or whatever? I don't know. What can we do to help people who are here now and they've not stayed this long so that they don't end up being in this situation? Because I don't even wish this on my worst enemy. Brad Patrick, good evening, sir. Welcome.
Auntie B, God bless you.
Yes, sir.
I really enjoyed your program yesterday. For you
Oh,
and
thank you.
Ben, you guys are doing wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Wonderfully. God will continue to strengthen you.
Amen.
Yes, sir. Thank you for educating us.
Thank you, sir.
I said it in one of your programs that UK, we not supposed to get visa go that country. I tell you, Auntie B,
Hmm.
we know as the thing where those people take us do. My last name was Robinson before. We have to change it.
Hmm.
Because one of my uncle is late. I was a former deputy accountant general in Bender State. He
Hmm.
was mad. He was supposed to go to England for school. They denied him because his name was George Robinson.
Hmm.
So these people, we are not supposed to get visa. I've been to London at least twice. I've been to Europe. So we are not supposed to get visa, go to that country. I tell you, Auntie B. when I got there, I was mad. Even though I was carrying American passport, they give you that privilege. American go this way. Even my son was even asking when we go there, so what do I do with my passport? Just scan it. So I just look at the country and say, we don't need visa to this country. These people colonize us. I was angry.
And they call us, they say we are in the Commonwealth. I don't see the wealth for Africa.
I beg. Which kind of visa?
Commonwealth.
If not be Nigeria, people will spoil Nigeria. You know what I mean? People supposed to go school there, come out there now. Waiting there. So as per Obodoyinbo and the B, what I would tell people, if you are listening to me, the first thing you must do when you get to Obodoyinbo is to get your paper. I don't know how you're going to get it. If you are staying there, because it doesn't make sense using
Before you build house. You mean before you build house in Nigeria? Get your paper first.
Auntie B, let me land now. Because I've been working for years. You know the way we work here in Obodoyinbo, but you are not getting any benefit. You are using somebody's paper. It doesn't make sense. I'm sorry to use this man. Look at this man, 61. You know, he looks older than his age. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes. He looks
worked.
So much more older. Yeah.
He has
Because
worked.
He's sick.
Yes, you see, he's sick.
Mm-hmm.
The benefit, even in America, your Medicare and all those things, you will get those benefits. Why should you be using? That's number one thing when I go to Obodoyinbo. You know, and number two is I must have a roof on my head, which is very important. I can't be homeless. If you are homeless, your own don't finish for Obodoyinbo. You know, those are the two. I know I go eat. No, I go eat. But those are the two basic things that I so much. My wife knows me. Even when we moved there, when I was working, I had multiple jobs. With little kids, my wife could not work. I said I would not be homeless. So whoever is coming here, you should get that in your mind. I don't know how you are going to get your paper. And about lawyers, let's talk about lawyers. You have to follow them up, Auntie B. My sister, when they were filing for amnesty, a lawyer took her money and she took the lawyer to court. Can you believe they paid my sister that money? That's all the money she used to start her business. She had a lawyer. Can you believe that lawyer, white guy? She paid, she didn't fight for her. So my sister said, no, I don't agree. They said they collect your license. The judge said you destroyed this woman's life. Yeah. She got her paper later, but they paid her.
Yeah. You can actually sue, if they don't do a good job, because they all have regulatory bodies. You can even take it up and they will agree to settle with you if you have a strong case and you have evidence. Yeah, you can sue anybody.
That was during Clinton. The judge said you destroyed this woman's life. You didn't do this. They are going to seize your license. They paid my sisters. She used that money to establish. She later got her paper. So I'm not saying you should not trust white, but monitor them. Don't just take them by their word. Follow them. You must know the lawyer you follow. Yes. Even now that filing for paper takes longer time. So I see no reason why somebody should be here laboring unless you have the mind and say, okay, let me just walk and go back. If you are staying there, you have family here, why would they be working with somebody's paper? I don't know. I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to teach you what you are going to do to get your paper. Just get your paper at least. Get it.
Invest on getting your paper. Prioritize getting your paper before anything.
Yes. If you go to hospital, if you go to hospital and all those things, if you are working, you have insurance. Like I said in my city, if you come there and visit me, there's a place I can take you to. You will do medical, everything. You will only pay $15. But you can't be living on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have, like one of my friends lost his job when it was tough. And this is a 6-figure somebody. So he went to that hospital. Can you believe they deny him when they look at the record? Say, you'll be making money. They deny him. Yes, because he lost his job during the murder more than 5 times. He makes 6-figure. So it was the wife that went there. They denied them when they put their record. You can't live on that. And you can't be living on welfare in America. If you're on welfare, that means that person in life don't finish. You know what I mean?
Don't tap completely.
So the first thing, get your paper. I don't know how you're going to get it. I'm not going to teach you how you're going to get your paper and get a roof on your head. You go eat
Yeah.
food now, not be food for America or for wherever
No,
you
some
are.
people they enter enjoyment. I'm not talking about these uncles, but some of our people that come here, once they see Olori, and they are working enjoyment from one party to the other, they start enjoying and forget that okay, oh, I don't have my paper yet, too. So yeah, I totally agree with what you are saying, Uncle Patrick. Get your paper, prioritize it. I know some people that came now with this our COS thing in the UK here. They don't have their permanent papers yet, but they're already hustling to build houses in Nigeria. I mean, nobody is saying you shouldn't build. You can build whatever you want to build, but you better make sure that if anything happens, that at least you have a way of coming back if you choose to come back, or that you're not using somebody's paper and neglecting what is more important. It
That
gives you
paper
freedom.
give you freedom. You are
Yes.
independent. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about our people, Auntie B. Our people will not open up for you.
Hmm.
Some people are so, so secretive. I don't know. Maybe if they show you where where they got their own paper, you're going to go and block it for them. That's our own mentality. So when you come here, use every avenue. Go to the internet, talk to lawyer. Don't take it as
So some people are trying to impress. You know how they'll say, you've been abroad. What did you achieve? Me, I just came. Look at me now, 6 months. My house is already almost completed. They are doing competition.
Auntie B, everybody has his own plan for life. Let them be.
Timeline.
Yes,
Yeah.
man. Let them. You know how you follow. You know where you are
Yeah.
going. If you have a family, your family is number one priority. How your children will go to college and all those things. You
Yeah.
can't be running everywhere. As long as you know how you manage yourself, you are not paying child support, you are not messing your life around. Those are the things you have to look at. You must know your priority now. It's
Mm.
the truth. If you want to marry somebody, let it be genuine. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter the race, whether white or black. Let it be genuine. You
Yeah.
get your paper for genuine. And if you want to pay, that's your own problem. You can do that. But everything you are doing, let it be straightforward.
Yeah.
The country
Yeah.
records are there because you bounce back.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Auntie B.
I
God bless you.
appreciate you, sir. God bless you. Have a good evening, Brother Patrick. Thank you for your wisdom always. Yeah. Give us a thumbs up. We are talking about migration. Yeah. Immigration. Coming to the abroad. People overstaying on their visas, or people who don't bother to check because they are able to work and get some money. And now we have these two uncles here who are facing possible deportation at a very old age. How can we avoid things like this? Because this is not looking good at all. Let me tell you something. These home office people, they don't send you this judge that you're looking at, this Olubumi judge, 61-year-old. Do you know even in that wheelchair they can deport him? They can. The fact that even is coming out now to talk does not change, change anything. They can put him in that wheelchair and drop him in Moritala. Hmm. Kolong Bafuwa. Winty Jojo, welcome. Please unmute yourself and give us your contribution very quickly. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I just did. Hello.
Okay. Hi.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, wherever you are. Good evening, wherever you are. Yes, thank you for this interesting topic. I'm looking at the comments in the comment section, and I just want to put a rebuttal to some people. Some people are saying, oh, that's why they are in the States. The state is the best. People should stop it. As long as you move from your country, I don't care if you move to Gabon, you move to Senegal, you move to Caribbean island, you have and you want to stay, migrate and integrate, you have to go by that country's immigration. Whatever it is that is going to allow you to work and stay and live your life, you have to go by that country's immigration. Now, immigration is becoming very tough in most Western world.
Hmm.
Even up to here in the US.
We are not hearing you again, no.
Hello.
Okay.
Yes, most migrants are coming through the border, and this has become a very hot topic here in the US. They are coming from South America. But I want to say this thing. There's a story. You see this story that you shared of this man? It's This story happened to a guy here based in Florida here. This story is on TikTok. A white guy due for social security went to go apply for social security, because here you apply for social security at the age of 65. When he went to apply, the Social Security Administration says that he is not a citizen, so they can't give it to him.
Hmm.
Let's go back to his story now. This guy is of dual citizenship. His
Mm-hmm.
father is Canadian. The
Mm-hmm.
mother, I mean, the mother is American. I mean, the mother, I'm sorry, the father is American, the mother is Canadian. He was born in Canada. So we are talking of, I think, in the 50s, right? At the age of 2, he migrated. They came, not like migrate, they came to the US. The father born and raised in New York. But US immigration and social security, they don't have no record that he's a citizen. His parents are dead. So there is nobody. We cannot say we are perfect when we talk of this thing they are calling immigration. There is nobody. This guy is fighting it. He applied. A local channel in Florida covered his news. He applied to US immigration. The US immigration said no, they are not giving him citizenship. Because back in the day, immigration was lapsed in every part of the world. You will walk in to America in the 40s, 50s, you will go to Social Security, you will get a card, you will start working. Nobody question you. It's later during the years things became tough. So people should stop saying the comment, America is the best. It can happen in anywhere.
I think the reason why they are saying that is that all the routes where people are still using to get citizenship or
Mhm.
green card in America is closed here. For instance, marriage.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
But it
student
can,
visa, getting a job. I mean, I think what they're trying, they're not saying that it's easy. They're just saying there are more opportunities for you to stabilize your stay in the US than in the UK. UK is very, very tight.
and I agree with you, sister Bridget. I totally agree with you. But that is not to downplay immigration laws. We don't know who is gonna come in now in the US. We don't know if Donald Trump is coming, and if he comes in because of all the crisis they are having in the southern border, immigration law may change. We don't know. We do not know. So as long as you are not born in the country and you come to resettle yourself there, you are an open book. And who says they cannot denaturalize you?
So you have to just make sure that you get your papers while as soon as possible. Don't neglect it. I think that's the lesson.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. So that's
yeah.
why I said this thing is not just a black and white issue. This
Hmm.
happened to this man in yeah, in and and I'm going to advise many of the listeners here in the US. When you apply for your social security, you have to notify Social Security Administration that you are now a citizen. So when the time comes for you to collect your social security, or you want to collect disability, they can see in the system that you are now a citizen. Everything in this Western world is steps and documentation. And
Hmm.
sometimes, because people migrate at a time when the laws were lax, like these gentlemen, they tend to just relax, and they just tend to think, oh, I am a citizen, or I'm
So
doing this.
if you have your what they call it, green card, do you qualify for the social security?
You If you have green card, you qualify for social security retirement. Yes,
Okay.
you do.
Right.
You do.
Mhm.
The thing is, if you have a problem with US immigration,
Mm.
because I know somebody who is in that kind of situation, you won't be able to go out, but you can collect your benefits.
Hmm.
You
Yeah, I think well, I mean, my understanding from all this is that US is still a bit better compared to the tight leash they put everything here in the UK. I thought it changed during Margaret Thatcher. It's so difficult now in the UK. It's unbelievable. Is it the cost we want to talk about?
hmm,
So when I see people that they are applying, they want to come here on visit visa, and they give them 6 months. Do you know that till today, You can apply in Nigeria for American visa and get 2 years as a first timer.
Yeah.
You ask me
I think
how
I
many.
think they've increased it to 5 years now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine. Ask
I
me
think they've
what they give
increased
them in the
to
UK.
5 years.
That's just a typical example. UK to today is 6 months.
Oh God.
To tomorrow is 6 months. For your first time, they will never give you anything. I've never seen, no, please, if you put seen, tell me. 6 months. And come and see what they are charging. So from that, you can even tell that they are very, very strict when it comes to all these things. And then you now see people with that 6 months, they now come here, they want to stay 1 year, 2 years. That means your visa has expired. The fact that you overstayed, gone. Even if you go back to Nigeria, they already note it in the system because they scanned your passport when you were going back. Except you didn't travel with your passport. You used what they call it, travelers. There's something they give in Nigerian embassy. They call it
Traveling
travel certificate. Yes. If you overstayed, do not. If you use your passport to go back, they will scan it and they will know you've overstayed. Come and apply again. They will now bring out your file and tell you how you came 3 years ago, and instead of 3 months or instead of 1 month, you stayed and you overstayed. Automatically, they disqualify you. Yeah, so everybody should know, just know the laws of the country you are going to, and make sure, like Brother Patrick said, documents is something you prioritize if you're planning to stay here. Don't say, maybe I'm okay now, moting badun. You are saying small pounds, and then you start comparing and say, if I change £5, I will just get $50,000. As 50,000 naira. You will be shocked, you will be hospitalized. Don't do it, oh. That document is number one priority before you start sending money. I know some of you want to solve the problem of the hunger problem in the whole of your village. It's you that is solving it. The day they will deport you, the whole village, they will laugh at you. So be very careful. Make sure you look after yourself in terms of your papers. You must look after yourself so that any yawa gas, at least you are shocked, babe, okay, you are all right. Honey babe, hi darling, welcome.
Hello, Auntie B. Hello, everybody. Really enjoyed this debate. Very enlightening, very educational. I just want to iterate based on what Brother Patrick said and the lady just before me, that it's very important that you know the laws of the country that you want to come into. And I'm going to put my accountability hat on today. As much as I have empathy, I think people need to kind of step their game up in terms of educating themselves if you want to come into this country. Immigration has got a lot worse recently. As you mentioned, Auntie B, I think to come into the country, they initially give you 6 months.
And you can't stay that 6 months.
Really?
Do you know you can't stay that 6 months? Yeah. You cannot stay more than 6 weeks. With the 6 months, you cannot stay the 6 months.
You know the funny thing, I think people, and I know it sounds harsh, but I think people need to understand is that if you want to get on the right side of immigration, you have to show yourself transparent. You can't lie. I'll give an example of one of my cousins. She is British. And she now decided to marry her husband. Her husband wanted to come into the UK. She was unfortunately married before and she got divorced in France. She made a mistake, even though it wasn't an intentional. She forgot to tell the Home Office that she was married before. When they asked her the question, have you been married? Whether she ignored it or said no, they now rejected her husband 5 times. To today, her husband still cannot come into the UK because of an error. I'm trying to be diplomatic, an error in the fact that she did not put the right information. So I think us, as coming into this country, we need to understand that yes, there is bias against us, but at the same time, you need to shine your eyes and be very truthful in your applications if you want to come into this country. I will give you another example. My aunt, as in my brother, my dad's sister, she thought she was being clever. She came in the late 80s and she decided to use someone else's passport. When she now decided she wanted to sort out her papers, the Home Office said, we need your passport with the stamp. She didn't have one, did she? Because she used someone else's passport. It took her 35 years for her to get her indefinite leave to remain, and that was only last year.
Jesus Christ.
And you know, I'm
35
not
years.
I'm trying to be empathetic, but no disrespect, yeah. You cannot be lying and deceiving and doing fraud, and you think that you deserve to stay in a country. You have to abide by the rules. I've given you 2 examples, and I can give you a lot more examples. All of these are errors or miscalculations or poor choices. And look what happened with my aunt, 35 years. By the time she got her papers, I found out through my dad recently, she's got dementia. She's in a nursing home.
Oh my
So she did not even
God.
enjoy the indefinite leave to remain. She
Hey.
now used a family member's NI to work. And like someone else said, she doesn't have a pension because it was someone else's NI. And also, a lot of people are being discouraged from using other people's NI, because I can tell you that the family member was taxed double because of the fact technically that person was working 2 jobs. You understand? So
Yeah,
that can
yeah.
affect your pension.
I know somebody that happened to. Actually,
Yes,
he
yes.
was
Someone very
working.
near to me, my aunt.
His
So
brother was using his
mhm.
details to work.
Thank you very much, Auntie B.
You know
So
what?
what
The
I'm trying,
HMRC came back and told they gave him BC of
but yeah,
the
they did it.
taxes
They
he
did it
needs to
to they
pay.
did it to my family member, my aunt. And what happened is that as much as she was like I said, helping my aunt, she got a slap on the wrist from the tax office, and it was a nightmare. They literally wanted to fine her. They actually wanted to prosecute her because they thought she was doing fraud, because they're seeing 2 different jobs, 2 different, NIs and taxes. It was a nightmare for my family member. And eventually they had to obviously get it sorted out. But what I'm trying to say is that be very careful what you do. Come into the country and try to be transparent with your applications. I'm not naive enough not to know that there's bias in the Home Office, but I think if you show truthfulness, it will help you than lying, because they will catch you. They will now ban you for 10 years, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
So, or they will now decide to send you a letter saying to you, we are deporting you and you need to now report to the nearest police station.
And then you
which
start running up
happened
and down.
which
You start
happened to
dodging.
my
You
which
not
happened
escape.
to yeah. I'm going to be very open here. My partner who I'm with now, he now overstayed. This is my first son's dad. Do you know the drama I had to go through to get a lawyer for him? They were going to deport him. We had to be running helter skelter, very similar to what Cece was saying. And it was by the grace of God and a good lawyer. We had to go to court. If not, they would have kicked out my son's father. This is all because he thought he was being clever by overstaying. And I only found out when I pressed him that, listen, we're supposed to be getting married. Where's your passport? That's when he now confessed to me. And I had to be running helter skelter, heavily pregnant. So I'm telling you 3 occasions where, because of not being truthful, I know I'm not saying we're not truthful, but I'm just saying that if you plan to come to this country, as Uncle Patrick said, first thing is prioritize your papers and be honest. If there's certain conditions, make sure if they ask you certain things, are you divorced? Are you this? Make sure you put the correct and truthful information. If not,
Because
they
they
will catch
have your
you.
record. You cannot
Yes.
lie.
My cousin did not know they will now check the system in France to
They
find out
will.
that she's a divorcee, because she
Yes, they
got
will.
divorced in France.
Yes, they
When
will.
she found out, she was in shock. And they
Most
refused her husband almost 5 times. He's still in
Almost
Nigeria.
all these countries in the West, they share information.
Thank you very much.
They all
Yes.
share information. Whether
Yes.
it's, I was telling somebody the day we were talking about the doctors who, the doctor that had gone to exchange Kerewa for Botox.
Yes.
I said he cannot now practice anywhere in Europe or in
Yes.
America or in Canada because they are going to
Mhm.
check. They will
Yes.
check your
They will
employment
check.
record. They will
Yes.
check police database. They
They will
will
check.
check
They will check everything.
the
And
way
one more
these
thing.
people keep record.
It's
Jesus.
shocking. It's shocking. And another thing I wanted to mention, some people have mentioned that they will never trust a Nigerian lawyer. They will trust a Oyibo lawyer. It's on a case-by-case basis. Like I said, my lawyer for my divorce was Nigerian and he was fantastic. My lawyer for my custody case was Nigerian. Fantastic. So I really don't like this assumption that that Nigerians, when it comes to immigration or as a lawyer, they are terrible. There are good and bad lawyers, whether they are white or black or Nigerian. So I really don't like this kind of like dislike of our people. It's for you to do the due diligence.
It's not dislike, oh, it's based on experience that people are saying that.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe
So
I'm,
your
maybe,
experience is positive, that's good.
yeah,
But
but
let's be fair, a lot of
yeah,
people have
I
had
agree.
negative
Okay,
experience
but
with
I
Nigerian
agree
lawyers.
with, yeah, that's probably true. But I've had bad experience with a Nigerian lawyer. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm just who I am, where I'm not going to discredit every Nigerian lawyer because I had a bad experience. I
yeah,
had a couple of experience with bad lawyers, and I have positive experience with Nigerian lawyers. I take everyone by a case by case basis, but
that's
that's
good.
me. But what
Okay.
I will say is that what a lot of people said is that do your due diligence, and if you can, do the applications yourself. But if it's going to be a complicated one because you decided to lie, I would recommend you get a lawyer. Because if
Mhm,
you've done some rubbish and nonsense and lied, to unravel the drama, you cannot
mhm.
do it yourself. So I
Okay.
advise you to get a lawyer. If it's a straightforward thing, I would do it yourself. So that's all I want to say, Auntie B. Thank
All
you very
right.
much.
Thank you very much, Honey Babe. Our accountability prefect. Clap for Honey Babe. Always looking at it from an accountability point of view. Thank you so much, darling. Um, Love word to Mama Love word. Say, Auntie B, please, what advice would you give to one who has a green card approved but wants to stay in the UK with a care visa, no benefits? I don't think I understand. Green card for which country? Is it green card for America? Green card for where? So I don't understand your question. Maybe you can rephrase it or jump in the studio and just speak to me about it. I don't understand the question. Where do you have the green card for? Where do you have a care visa? In the UK, no benefits. And care visa, I don't know. There are different scenarios I play there. Okay, Adama, welcome. How are you?
Hi, Sisby. Good evening. Good evening, fam.
Yeah,
Thank you for this topic. It's so thought provoking. Each time you call Thatcher's name, I remember, how she changed the laws, because
yeah,
prior to having Margaret Thatcher as the PM, Nigerians could come to this country without having a visa because we were part of the Commonwealth.
yeah.
So she changed that law. So, like, I mean, my parents came here in the 60s. They gave birth to me, and my other siblings, and then they went back. And in those days, they came to study, they worked, and they went back. I mean, my
Yeah.
dad was 42 when he went back. So it's just I'm looking at these two men. They've
Mm-hmm,
stayed this long and haven't put their cards in place. And then
mm-hmm,
again, even when I wanted to come back, because I wanted to study here. Even though I was born here, my parents didn't leave with the British passport. They left with Nigerian passports for all of us. I had to pay for indefinite leave to remain here, and that was from Nigeria. But then it was 200 naira
hmm,
back then. That's
mm-hmm.
that's far back. So I'm just saying, even I had to come back here, but even I had to follow the rules and buy that document, that indefinite leave to remain. I paid 200 naira for, or rather, my dad did. And then as soon as I came down here, I got my British passport with
Mm-hmm.
my birth certificate. Do you understand? So I'm just saying, even I followed the rules. You can't not follow the rules because these guys are mean. And things have changed so much over the years.
Mm-hmm.
The environment has become too hostile. And you see, now that we're out of Brexit, there's no way, there's no mercy, because they're doing it to even other Europeans who've been here like for so many years, just because of Brexit. So these guys, sadly, they'll show no mercy. I mean, look at what happened during COVID. Look at all those old people that they're allowed to just buy just like that. And
Mm-hmm.
those were white ones. They'll just see these guys as liabilities. So it's just so sad that these kind of men can just remain here and not have put their papers in order.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't like people like the Sewella Bravemans and the Kemis and whatever, but they all keep on saying, well, our parents came here and they followed the rules.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
we have to follow the rules. We can't keep on saying that we didn't know. That doesn't wash. These
Yeah.
guys are used to our people lying from the embassy in Nigeria.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
used to it. So,
Yeah.
the ones back home, I mean, these, the British officials back home, they used to have people like that. But these ones here, they haven't got the patience for you. They ain't got the
Yeah.
time because
Yeah.
things have become so bad. I've never seen it this bad, sis. I have never.
Mm.
This country is not what it was. There is no
Yeah.
mercy for you. None at
Yeah.
all. None. None.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Adama. Lovely
Yeah,
to hear
yeah, yeah.
from you. Yeah.
Thank
Take
you.
care,
All right
sis.
then.
Okay. Yeah. Back in the day, our people didn't want to stay here. They came here to study, went to Oxford, Cambridge, and they go back. What are you doing here to stay in the cold? Ha. Many of the people that are like, I have friends now that were born here, they got their British passports in Nigeria. Their parents had them here, but they didn't wait. They carried them and went back to Nigeria. But the country is how it is now. It's just been deteriorating. And so the more the country gets harder, people are just, everybody is trying to get greener pastures. The security issues, number one reason why people are jackpying is just the security. It's just, I don't know. God help us. Uncle Beno, welcome. I'm rounding up now. You got 4 minutes. Welcome. Can you hear me? Please give us a thumbs up. Shayo said, my parents came to study and they went back. Yeah, they always did. They didn't like to stay here. Doing what? They came back home and they spoke their Queen's English. Hey, those couple, if you see them, the ones that came to England, chai, I used to envy them when I see them, the way they do their love. Those men they were gentlemen. They learned the English way of life. They learned the way of fine dining, the way they wear their safari suits, and the way they dressed with their suits and everything. Oh, those were like, yeah, upper middle class back in the day. But now, nobody wants to go back, oh, telling you. Uncle Beno, can you hear me? I'm not hearing you. Oh. You're in the studio, but you are not talking. Guys, give us a thumbs up. Thanks to everybody that subscribed to Uncle Beno's channel. We are trying to get him to 1,000 subscribers. Yeah. So I want to appreciate you guys that subscribed yesterday. He's at 803 now. And we have, how many people watching today? How many people do we have? We're trying to get him to 1,000 subscribers so he can monetize. We have 902 people. Please do me a huge favor. If you haven't already, subscribe to Beno's channel. The link is in the comment section so we can get him to 1,000. If only 200 people here will subscribe, he will be at 1,000 subscribers. Uncle Beno, can you hear me? You don't enter with two different devices. We don't still hear you. Eh?
Oh wow.
Okay, I'm hearing you now. Welcome. You're muted. Guys, please help me subscribe to Ben's channel. The link is in the comment section. We just need to get it to 1,000 subscribers. I beg you. He's always bringing it 100%. Always showing up, even when it's not convenient. So the issue of this immigration. Thank you, my brother Oladeji. God bless you. You use the link in the comment section and just jump in and subscribe. It takes literally one less than 30 seconds. Thank you to everybody. Thank you, Billionaire Jones, babe. If you are here or you know anybody that is here, this thing about immigration is a very serious thing. Because looking at these two uncles now is just so sad. I mean, the Ghanaian uncle that he's told to start applying for 2.5 years, where is he going to have money to do all that? By the time he's exhausted the 10 years, he will be 84 years old. At 84, what is he doing with British passport at 84? Now travel, you want travel, I've been at work, you won't work. Maureen, thank you very much. So there's a time that you get something that the thing will be useful to you. When you get it at a certain point, it's useless. Yeah, we don't want that to be for our people. So I'm encouraging everybody, please make sure you are doing the right thing to get yourself settled. Except you don't want to stay, you just want to work and quickly go back and never come back or whatever. Thank you, Sister Jibola. Braben, can you hear me now? Emagbamike. I don't know what's happening to your connection today. Oh, we cannot hear you. Okay. Yeah. They not travel, Jay. They didn't travel. This uncle was here for over 40 years. He didn't go to Ghana. He didn't. I don't know how people think they get mind like this. So I'm assuming that they have parents alive and they had siblings. They don't see them. Let's see, we all go another man country. That for my town, do you know what they call? If you go travel like that, you don't come home. They say you lost. In my place, they will say that one way don't lost. You don't lost for abroad. Oh my god. This uncle don't enter UK. You know, gree come back again. So they don't marry two wives for yeah. BT say because if they marry Oyibo, say him be Oyibo. You go land. You go land say you know be Oyibo. But if you like marry 20 Oyibo, then no consign them. Yeah. So yeah, just make sure that you have the paper in your hand. Pursue them. If you need to look for a lawyer, look for a good one. If you can do it yourself, just make sure that you're doing everything to stabilize yourself. Don't be in a hurry to be sending money because I know that's the first thing. Thank you, Judy. Thanks to everybody that subscribed. Really appreciate that. Most people are in a hurry to start sending money. Documents is the first thing that you need to do. I know people that stayed like that in some part of Europe. They didn't regularize themselves. They deported them and they cannot travel. They cannot travel. They are stuck in Africa now. Nothing to do, and they cannot come back because they didn't take their documentation seriously. Yeah, so let's take this seriously. You must take it serious if you are planning to stay in this part of the world. Monica said the Spanish government are very generous with documents. Over here is 3 years with proof of work, and document will be out under 3 years. Yeah, it's just the tiny issue of you having to learn Spanish, isn't it? So you see, there's nowhere in the world that there is no wahala. Emma, thank you so much for subscribing. It's just a very tiny issue that you have to learn Spanish, and you know how some people are very bad with learning language. Like me now, if you go put me for Spain, I want to learn the language. Now you go hear our people did that part of the other say, the language not just the enter my mouth. It not just the enter my mouth. But there's a big collect benefits. But they don't feel like the language. Go language school, they no go. Oh dear. Tony has said he could have changed to false claims to citizenship in the UK. Black tax also get people's finances messed up, of course. Uncle Beno, you couldn't come in today. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Let me share the link and then you try one more time. This time around, you have 2 minutes. 2 minutes of your time has gone. Okay, I'm sharing the link again now. Try one more time. See if you can get in. That's the link I just shared now. Yeah, it's a very tiny issue, Peggy. A very teeny weeny issue of learning the language. That's why people favor English speaking countries because you can just, it's easy for you to, get into systems and, learn the way of life because you can communicate. Language is very, very important. So if you cannot learn language, it's a little snag for you going to all these other African countries like Finland and all these Scandinavian countries and Europe. Yeah. Okay. We are coming to the end of the show now. Brother Ben, can you hear me? Unmute yourself.
Yeah, Auntie B, sorry,
Oh, finally, we got here. Okay.
it was a call, so my network was bad.
Oh, I
Thank you
see.
very much, Auntie B, for all the support. My Obodo fam, thank you all. God bless you.
I remember when
I
I
see.
subscribe to Uncle Beno. Let us get him to 1,000 subscribers. I beg you guys. It's free. Free of
Yeah.
charge. Ni won gbowo.
Auntie B, you are a big time influencer. You they do marketing.
What we go do now? We have to be there for one another now.
Yes, ma. Thank you, ma. Thank you, my Obodo sisters and brothers. I really appreciate everyone. God bless you. I've used my 1 minute. Make I use the rest 3 minutes, Auntie B.
Oh,
As
yeah.
for the two papa that has this problem, I pray that God will watch over them and protect them, and God will send helpers to them because it can be very frustrating. I had a terrible experience with a man. He was 69 years old. When he was deported.
Hey, we're not hearing you again, no. AGK said, let me answer AGK. Ben, your internet is gone again. You need to sue your network provider. Let me answer that question. AGK is asking one question. AGK, you always put comments that annoy me, but today I'll answer you. He said, why stress over immigration when you could just marry an Igbo person and grab citizenship? It's not in all the countries in the world that you can marry Igbo and grab citizenship. You cannot in some countries. For instance, in the UK, if you don't have legal stay, you cannot even marry. They won't even allow you to marry. They will tell you to go back to your home country and go and marry over there. Yeah, uncle? Have you heard that one before? Yeah. The UK government says that if you are not a resident in this country, you cannot marry. Yes, you don't have the right to marry. So if you want to marry, go back to your home country with your Igbo. Go and marry them there. They will now apply for you to come back again. Yeah, that's how it works. Ben, are you there? No, you are not. Okay, got a call again. That's what happens when you use the phone. You keep getting calls. Yeah. So it's not so straightforward. I think the first thing for you to know is to know what works and what doesn't work. If you still think that you can come to the UK and grab Oyibo and get paper, you are making a very big mistake. Even if you born Peking, you know the child has to be 10 years before you can even use the child to file. Let's say you are 45 years old. Now you are looking for somebody where you go carry belly for you. By the time you born the Peking reach, you are looking at how many? 55 going 60 before you go get the paper. So I don't believe in that. And moreover, don't use people for papers. I'm always against it. How people feel like because it's Oyibo, it doesn't matter. No, don't use people. They are human beings. Oyibo women are human beings with feelings. Don't use somebody for paper. Do it the right way. Do it the right way. Because at the end of the day, you end up having children all over the place. And it's causing a lot of problems. It's not good. Spreading your seed because of paper. No. There are other ways. Okay. Brother Ben, you're back.
Yeah, thank you, Gareth B. Now all these scammers they call me. So my
Okay.
experience with that old man was terrible because he was frustrated at 69 years old. We call him Mr. Portmouth. Is that Portmouth? That's what they call it in London, that stayed by the seaside. So the man
Portmont.
was acting irrational. He can't even go and see his people. His wife used to come and meet him in our face me, I fire you apartment then. So I pray
Mm-hmm.
that these old men, God will just send helpers to them to help them
Mm-hmm.
settle down. And as
Yeah.
for people who traveled without Pali, all I can say is this: please know your status. When you come abroad without the right documentation, after a while you start forgetting your status and you just feel like, oh, I'm here, I'm balling, everything is fine. No, you cannot compare yourself to people who actually have the documents to stay and work legally. The day they catch you, you will regret not doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And never ever overstay your visa. That
Mm-hmm.
one is number, in fact, to me, now the first thing I used to tell people that come for visiting and they want to do away with that. So I'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, look, since you came in now, have plan B.
Mm-hmm.
One plan is you came in, you want to come and settle down. Another thing is it might not work out the way you think. So
Yeah.
if it doesn't work out the way you think, then don't overstay so that at least you can still use the other opportunity left on your visa. I think
Yeah.
as at the last time, I know they give people 2 years. So if you come, you stay 5 months, you know, see who to marry, give you pali, go back and then come back again and try again. But some people will just be like, okay, let me rough it, make I rough am. So please don't overstay your visa. You know
Mm-hmm.
they work. This is not Nigeria. Everything is computerized in obodooyinbo. In fact, they know where you are at every point in time. The
Mm-hmm.
moment they check you in from the entry point, they know where you are. They know when you overstay. And when you overstay, they are already looking for you. One mistake, one error, they catch you. Here we get eyes. Now eyes we they call our people. When they
Mm-hmm.
bundle you, you don't go be that. You go first go cool your feet for jail first. Then from there, they send you back home. So please do not overstay your visa. Always have a strategy and listen to the people who are already permanent residents or citizens. that are Africans just like you. When they tell you go right, go right. When they say go left, go left. Listen, some people will give you some concrete advice that will even help your stay. Okay, don't don't try to be Mr. Smart and don't burn bridges. Like in the case of these two old men now, maybe if they have bomb bridges in Nigeria now, settling back down in Nigeria is going to be very difficult for them. Don't bomb bridges. We do understand that when you come to America or you go to London, people back home will be pestering you for money. Once you are tired of giving them money and you want to start to cut them off, make sure you hang on to those ones who are doing fine, that don't need you for money. They are just appreciating their friendship with you. Always reach out to them, be their friend, communicate with them regularly, especially since you don't have permanent stay, okay? And always remember that without paper, you are sitting on a long thing. And lastly, do your due diligence. Somebody was talking about Nigerian lawyer earlier. Look, I'm not trying to put Nigerian lawyers under the bus, but in the case of this paper thing, go with Oyinbo. Go with Oyinbo. Make sure it will cost you more, but they will do the right thing by you and they will guide you right because they need your business and they need you to refer them to other people in your community. Okay, so please no talk say I too smart, I over sappy. And if you come, if for instance you come to America on 6-month visa and your intention is you want to use that one to japa, just know that the easiest way to get your pali now to marry. And when you want to marry, I'll just drop this real quick.
That's
One of
countries where
the
you can marry. Oh, it's not all the countries you can marry. You're talking about the US now.
I'm talking about the US because now US experience again. I know say London won't pass me. That's why I don't put my plan to go London. On our own thing there, protocol too much. We know that the America thing is like black and white. If Americans say do ABC and you get E, once you do ABC, America will give you E. That's just the way it is here. But you can't cut corner. You cut corner, they catch you, they kick you out. That's just the way it is here. So if you come to America, for instance, and you are visiting from there, you plan, say, this might come you na jackpot, na B. Just know that you have 5 months to find wife. One of the guys that I've helped here, while he was living with me, tall, handsome young guy, I told him plainly, guy, forget this job. You are going there to work 16 hours. This is not your priority right now. If you are here to stay, you need to be married. You need to find love. And he's tall. American women know they take I see tall guy. The guy is 6 foot plus. He's tall, he's fit. He used to be a footballer. My neighbor, see him, my neighbor cannot even carry eye. Or before you know, they don't wed. In fact, he don't they date my neighbor like 3 months. Me and Nana, my wife said no. So at night we go sneak and meet her, he go sleep. Love quantity. Now he's a permanent resident. He has even got his citizenship now. The guy don't run your own business. So please focus on the goal. If your strategy not to stay, no say you come here to stay and do the right thing and listen to wisdom, listen to
Don't look for
other
somebody
people
to
when they
use. If
advise
you
you.
really want to marry, you go marry the one when you know say you like and marry them genuinely. No use
Exactly.
anybody. Don't use them.
Exactly.
No, they use anybody. Don't use white. Don't use black.
Mm-mm. If you want to be married genuinely. Be married genuinely. And if you not say you get load for Nigeria before you come, maybe you don't do the do for Nigeria before, and now you want marry, make sure you talk to the person where you live for Nigeria or Africa. Say, come, if I want stay this town, I need to remarry, so we need to divorce. Una two go do the arrangement between ourselves, however it be. But if you are trying to play smart, because I once saw a guy that ain't saying don't do divorce for Nigeria, but now rejoin go do. By the time he enter paper, I don't even know say that they go verify at time himself. Now he can't take him out, tell us say they go verify.
They
They see say
verify
na
divorces.
fake,
They
na
verify,
fake
and some
divorce
people
na
will keep
him
their
do.
wife for Nigeria. They will keep their wife for Nigeria, still marry for abroad. That one
Exactly,
too.
Auntie B. I
It's
never
not. It's
knew before.
illegal.
It was in his case. I open mouth. They go for it. That the person, no, you are still married. He said, no. You bring the Oluwale that no. They bring the copy of the certificate. Come out. He was shocked. So if you know, say you won't marry, go divorce the one where you live for Nigeria. May you talk to her and say, Madam, as it be now, I need to marry you and marry genuinely because now women are so smart. They can read you. If you do say
And
you
it can
fit
also put
do
you in
hair and
serious
dread,
trouble if you are trying to use
ah,
people. Angela,
auntie,
Michael, even though your own case different. Michael, they American now, the boy, go party for Indianapolis, Abiana, they call her. The other day,
mhm.
Angela, they look am. The day when Angela go cash am, we see Angela go take the IC. Go yeah win.
So please, I just say I should say that because if you come, try to take the baby step. Know your advantage. As if you say na jackpot, you jackpot. Check your height first, and I can tell you now, if you are 5'9", 6 feet, 6 feet plus, and you no get pot belly, wife day.
Your
You
time
just
don't
have
pass,
to.
you.
You just
Brother,
have to be
yeah,
honest with yourself.
random,
Okay,
I need
Auntie
to
B, make I
go.
carry my load. They go.
They
Thank you,
carry your
Obodo
load, they
Farm.
go.
I
You know, say
appreciate
your code, you know,
everybody.
they finish. You don't, I give you 4 minutes, you don't use 10 minutes.
No, Auntie B, na far enough I use, man.
Not only 4.5. Thank you. You do well.
Thank you, man.
All right. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Give us a thumbs up. I mean, you've learned one or two things. Yeah, I'm posting the link to Brabel's channel in the link in the comment section if you are just joining us. Please, yeah, if you want to hear more, he has a lot of stories though. In the story, Ondo is far, but our Ondo brother, he has a lot of stories. Please subscribe to his channel. Let's get him to 1,000 subscribers so he can monetize his channel. He had a channel before, but YouTube, I don't know, he had a problem with YouTube, and that channel does not exist anymore. So we are trying to get the new one. So monetization. Thank you very much, everybody. So I am back on Thursday. Tomorrow I'll take a break and rest. And Thursday I'm back. Let me show you what I want to talk about on Thursday. It's a very funny story of calling the police. This issue of calling the police, what I want to talk about. So one of our Bodo fan brothers shared this with me today and said we should talk about it. Actually, the brother made it so funny. He said, Auntie B, your next, can you guys see the video? So this is the video of a couple. I don't know where they are, but it's in the abroad. And it's the question of calling police. When should you or should you not call police? This our brother made me laugh today. Me and him were always having some very, very funny conversation. He said, Auntie B, he just send it to me. He said, Auntie B, this should be your next topic. And the title should be Women Who Call Police, Who Call the Cops, and Still Want Daddy to Stay. So the woman is holding the leg of the man and saying, you cannot go anywhere. And the man is saying, you'll be calling police for me. Let me put the volume so that you guys hear. Oh my God.
Màá san child support lórí ọmọ mi. Tó bá need assistance, béèrè lọ́wọ́ mi, màá ṣe. Living together with you has not brought me any happiness or joy.
We can work it out.
How? By calling police all the time lórí mi. What destroy career mi? Nǹkan tí ò ṣẹlẹ̀ kò ṣẹlẹ̀ ó bọ́ síta. Mo fẹ́ràn ìyá mi lọ sẹ́wọ̀n.
No, that's not what happened. Police will tell you what I said. Me, I tell you, husband and wife fight. But this is not what you told me when I was moving here. You didn't tell me you're going to abandon me. This is not what.
So, I don't know. Some people are saying it's an old video, but the lessons are always there. Calling police or not calling police, what we're going to discuss on Thursday. So, join me. This our brother said, we should call it, the title should be Women Who Call the Cops and Still Want Daddy to Stay. That's exactly what I'm going to put as the title. Women who call the police and still want daddy to stay. So we're just going to be discussing the dynamics of this police calling thing. It's an imported wife situation again. When should you or should you not call the police? Because let's be honest, there are times where you should. Police is supposed to be emergency. That's why they call them 999 or 911. It's an emergency. But some women abuse it because they know this is abroad. Okay? Why some will not even call, even when they are buying them. So we'll just talk about the dynamics. We'll talk about it on Thursday. Yeah. It's gonna be really interesting because the video is so funny. The way she grabbed his leg and the man is saying, you want to destroy my life. I think he's an Ondo or Ekiti man. Oh, Jesus. She doesn't want daddy to go. She's grabbing daddy's leg. Daddy wants to run. Daddy wants to jackpot. Oh, my God. This husband and wife matter, eh? And God go help our people. Uncle wants to jackpot. And the woman is like, you go nowhere. No, we buy here. And of course, on Sunday, don't forget that I've got Man of Prestige on Sunday. We have this very, very interesting show coming up. You don't want to miss this one. It's a master class. And we're going to be talking about the dark side of marriage with Man of Prestige on Sunday. Yeah? So make it a date with me. Thursday, we'll talk about Jackpa, police or no police. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate you. Thanks to everybody that contributed. And please don't forget to subscribe to Brother Ben's channel. The link is still in the comment section. Just click on it, literally as you are going out now. 1 second, and you are subscribed. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you on Thursday night. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. I love you guys. God bless you. Thank you all. Bye.